if you're planning to invest in Brazil, open a company, or even just buy a property, that is thing that you cannot skip. And most foreign have only discovered this when it's too late. You need a CPF. What is a CPF? The CPF is a Cadastro de Pessoa Física. At the beginning, because without it, nothing moves. You can have a money, your plan, your opportunity, but if you don't have this number, you block it. So let's make this simple. What is a CPF? CPF is standard for Cadastro de Pessoa Física. It's your tax identification number in Brazil. But more than that, it is how the system recognizes you. Without it, you don't exist in finance and legal structure of the country. And that's why it's required in almost everything. If you want to open a company, the system will ask you for it. If you want to buy a real estate, if you want to buy part of the business is already operating in Brazil, open account at the bank, do investments, or if you purchase a car, airplane, or same things, it is all required, a CPF. Now, here's where it's got a little confused. Many foreigners think this connected to tax resident. It is not. Having a CPF does mean you are a tax resident in Brazil. It does not mean you are pay taxes here. It is just your identification, fiscal, no? It is say a tax identification number. Nothing more. Your tax obligations depend on somewhere else. Example, your status. And your status depends how long you stay in Brazil. Your visa and your intention to remain in the country. I did a video before about the period that you stay in Brazil. It's kind of where you stay 180 days. Rules becomes important. If you stay more than 183 days within a 12-month period, your status can change for tax resident. I thought you already this. And when this happens, your regulations change. You may become a subject of taxation on your worldwide income. But pay attention. You can have a CPF and still live abroad and still be a non-resident and still have no obligation to recognition income in Brazil. So that is completely possible. Now let's look at the very common situation. A foreigner live outside Brazil, but want to invest in here. Maybe of a company, buy a property, or hold an asset in the country. Even without living in Brazil, they will still need this CPF number. Why? Because every asset, every transaction, every legal connection must link to the CPF number identification. And that is identification that I call is a cadastro de pessoa física, it's a CPF. So, again, the CPF is not about the residence, it is about access. It is allow you to operate inside of Brazil, even live abroad. Now, how do you get it? If you looking for information, like you put on today, you don't not just use Google, you use the example ChatGPT. You can looking for ChatGPT, ask how can I get CPF in Brazil, even live abroad. They're gonna give you some valid option because I did this question for ChatGPT before, and both is valid. Like you go presence for some Brazilian department near our residence, apply online. This is you valid, you know. If you want to open up account the bank, do investments, you need the CPF here, you know. It can create a problem. See if you don't do this correct way. Something important you need to know: when you get your CPF number, it's common, and because this you are abroad, maybe you got a CPF for one intention for one project, but it doesn't work, and then you let this number over there, and you forgot the number, detail. You can get a new one. Your CPF is only one forever, and you say, "Oh, I forgot my CPF number. How can I get this?" This is personal. You have to contact the Receita Federal to get for they uh, give you your CPF number. They won't give you a new one. They just give you the previous one. Okay? Remember, this video is just informational. Always talk to your lawyer for any proposal for you get a correct and legal path for your planning, for your investment, for your visit in Brazil, or so on. Okay? Thank you for watching, and I see you next one. Bye now.